Well then, here we are, live again from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Welcome to episode 96 of the House Arrest Concert Series with your host and sole performer, Bill Spence. That is me, number 96. Jeez. Founded in 2020, House Arrest Concert Series is approaching episode 100. That'll be sometime in May, I think. But thank you so much for joining me, where I do every week of a Saturday evening some covers that I have no business doing, and a song of my own that I hope you enjoy. Tonight I've got a bunch of different stuff, some of it leftover requests from last week, some of it new stuff from my hindbrain, and we'll run through them all as best I can. I thought of this guy today, and I don't know if I never knew this or just completely forgot it, but I think I just completely forgot it. But this guy was from Philly. He was born in South Philly. He was raised in Upper Darby. He went to Villanova, for goodness sake. Sadly, he died in Louisiana before his fame took off and his work was appropriately recognized. But I think you'll recognize this song. Operator, could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. She's living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. Guy she said she knew well and sometimes hated. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels. Operator, could you help me place this call? 'Cause I can't read the number that you just gave me. There's something in my eyes, you know it happens every time. Every time I think about the love that I thought would save me. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels. No, 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 that's not the way it feels. Operator, let's forget about this call. There's no one there I really wanted to talk to. Thank you for your time, 'cause you've been so much more than kind. Keep the dime. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell her I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. That's not the way it feels. Operator from Jim Croce. At number 17 in 1972. Let me check my recording device and then I'm going to talk about Deadheads. Recording device is going. People are watching. Thank you ever so much for joining the broadcast. So yeah, Jim Croce was a Philly boy. There was a song very similar thematically and kind of lyrically, written by Ron Pigpen McKernan of the Grateful Dead. He was the ill-fated keyboard player, one of several. It was called Operator, and it was kind of the same thing. A guy talking to an operator trying to find some woman. It came out on their 1970 album American Beauty. And of course, Jim Croce's Operator wasn't released until 1972. So, before you Deadheads get in a huff, which I know you don't normally do, and say, ooh, Jim Croce still lives from Big Bad. Well, no, because there's video evidence, film evidence of Jim Croce performing this song, as is in the mid-'60s. So, if anybody stole it from anybody, it's Big Bad. But hey, both of those guys were very cool. I'm not gonna say anything about the dead, because today, the 9th of April, 2022. Today is National Cherish an Antique Day, where you might want to pay attention to an heirloom that you might have, or think of me. It is Name Yourself Day, and I'll dedicate this to my daughter Celine, who actually did that. And it is Unicorn Day. Unicorn, mythical creature made up maybe by the Greeks about a creature that was supposed to live in India, according to them. Who knows? Birthdays today in 1898. Earl Curly Lambeau died in 1965, as you might infer. He was instrumental in founding the Green Bay Packers in 1919 and won 6 NFL championships under his coaching. He was one of the early proponents of the forward pass, which is it's something that if you were around in the dawn of football, that was not as big a thing as it was then. 1926, not too long after the dawn of modern-day football, Hugh Hefner was born on this day. He died in 2017. Living people with this birthday, 1966, coming in at 56 years old, Cynthia Nixon, Miranda. 1990, Kristen Stewart. She celebrates her 32nd birthday today. And born in 1999, Montero Lamar Hill, 23 years old, professionally known as Lil Nas X. And if you had your TV time machine, you'd want to go back to 1950 and see Bob Hope's first appearance on television on NBC's Star Spangled Review. Let me be alive. Take a sip. nice and cold. And in 1965, the Rolling Stones appeared on TV for the first time on the BBC show Ready, Steady, Go. 19... Blah, 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 blah. When I wake up, you know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. I was gonna do that song, but I decided not to. 1962 on TV, the 34th Oscars, in which West Side Story won Best Picture, Best Director, and 8 more. And to my knowledge, no one was slapped. And, 60 years ago. Of note, that year, the Best Actress went to Sophia Loren in the movie Two Women. I highly recommend that you find that and listen to it. It's ever so good. Moving on with Philly Boys, go from Jim Croce to Todd Rundgren, and his 1972 classic album, Something Anything. It was a double album, so 2 vinyl discs. Some of the very early ones came in colored vinyl. Disc 1 was in red, disc 2 was in blue. If you have a copy of Something Anything that looks like that, probably worth a little bit of change to a collector. And so that's 4 sides on that album. The first side, Todd Rundgren referred to as a bouquet of ear-catching melodies. And this was one from that side. Instead, maybe you remember the last time you called me to say we were through. How it took a million tears just to prove they all were for you. But those days are through, 'cause it wouldn't have made any difference if you loved me. How could you love me when it wouldn't really make any difference? If you really loved me, you just did not love me. 'Cause I know of hundreds of times I could be in the most unfaithful of arms, but you always picture me. Maybe you remember that, though I can't always show proof I've been true. No one else could change my mind, stop me coming home to you. But those days are through, 'cause it wouldn't have made any difference if you really loved me. How could you love me when it wouldn't really make any difference? If you really loved me, you just did not love me enough to believe me, enough to believe released as a single, so it did not chart. And this one charted. That. And that's the Sound I Want. This was a lucky 7 for a couple of artists. 1978. From her 7th studio album, Boys in the Trees. This song co-written with Michael McDonald of the Doobies by Carly Simon. Doobies released it a year earlier, 1977, on their 7th album, Living on the Fault Line. I don't know if that charted or not. I don't think it did. But this is one of Carly Simon's biggest hits. And, you don't often think about it. I know, but let's give it a shot, shall we? Why'd you tell me this? We're looking for my reaction. Well, do you need to know? Don't you know I'll always be your man? You don't have to prove to me you're beautiful to strangers. I've got loving eyes of my own. You belong to me. In this life, anyone could tell. Any fool could see who you need. I know you all too well. You don't have to prove to me you're beautiful to strangers. I've got loving eyes of my own, You belong to me. Tell them you were fooling. You belong to me. You don't even know him. You belong to me. Tell them that I love you. You belong to me. You belong to me. Can it be, honey, that you're not sure? You belong to me. Thought we'd close the book and lock the door. You don't have to prove to me you're beautiful to strangers. I've got loving eyes of my own, and I can tell, darling. Tell you, you belong to me. Tell them that I love you. You belong to me. You don't even know him. You belong to me. Tell them that you were fooling. You belong to me. You belong to me. Tell them you were fooling. You belong to me. I know you from a long time ago, baby. You belong to me. Don't leave me to go to her now. You belong to me. Carly Simon, by request. As is this next one. Let's do this. Hit number. This hit number 18 in 1982. This guy was living in New York City at the time. I was living in New York City at the time. And loving his stuff as part of like the second British invasion in the early 80s. His number 6 hit, Steppin' Out, was actually all about his impressions of living in Manhattan. Talking, of course, about David Ian Joe Jackson and his 1982 album Breaking Us in Two, charted at number 18. So, let's see what I can do to that. Let's see what I can do to this. Did I do that right? Okay. Don't you feel like trying something new? Don't you feel like breaking out or breaking us in two? You don't do the things that I do. You want to do the things I can't do. Always something breaking us in two. You and I could never live alone. But don't you feel like breaking out just one day on your own? Why does what I'm saying hurt you? I didn't say that we were through. Always something breaking us in two. They say two hearts should beat as one for us. We'll fight it out to see it through. I say that won't be too much fun for us. Oh, it's so nice to get advice. It's so hard to do. We could be much closer if we tried. We could stay at home and stare into each other's eyes. Maybe we could last an hour. Maybe then we'd see right through. Always something breaking us in two. Joe Jackson, also by request. This next one I started off last week with a tribute to Leon Russell, and I completely forgot to mention that last week was his birthday, so it's a week after his birthday. So I did Tightrope last week, and this song in 1972 was actually released as the B-side to Tightrope. I always thought this was a better song. Didn't chart for Leon, but in 1976 it charted for George Benson at number 10. It was, I want to say, is the highest charting Leon Russell song ever, but hey, let's just play this anyway. And, one more shout out to Leon, master of time and space. happy here with this lonely game we play. Looking for words to say, searching but not finding understanding anyway. We're lost in a masquerade. Both afraid to say we're just too far away from being close together from the start. We tried to talk it over, but the words got in the way. We're lost inside this lonely game we play. Thoughts of leaving disappear every time I see your eyes. No matter how hard I try, I understand the reasons that we carry on this way. We're lost in this masquerade. We're lost in this masquerade. All right, another request. And I'm going to do this. Boink. Going back to Something Anything from 1972, the fourth side of the record is called Baby Needs a New Pair of Snakeskin Boots, a rock operetta. But that's just Todd having fun. That's just Todd taking the piss, if you will. We figure, my daddy and me, things are still the same it seems. 'Cause when he lived in his teens as a kid in school, Aaron was a junior in class of 32. His mama called him Angel, but everybody knew he was the king, the gross out king. They called him Piss Aaron. They always called him pissing in the hall. Piss Aaron, he never would refuse when nature called. Dumb Larry from homeroom 9 kept his locker full of weeds, just to satisfy his smoking needs. And his love of fire went to a game and lit a stink bomb in the bleachers. The coach, a cheerleader, the chem teacher, and the dean were after Dumb Larry. They always caught him smoking in the john. Dumb Larry, they never would have missed him when he's gone. Chocolate biscuits, conservative giant, the biggest pig in all the school. He would sit and smack his lips and drool as he eyed their lunch. I left a bag in his desk one night, a raw egg sandwich, and when hungry a bite. He had to up a puking jug of biscuits that always caught him eating in the class. Dumb Larry, they always caught him smoking in the john. Piss Aaron, they always caught him pissing in the hall. That's Todd for you. Love the Todd. Oh, 8:01. So I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Frequent watchers of the broadcast, who I generally greet with "People of Earth, how are you?" But realize that I forgot that first thing, so I don't want to do that. I think that would be 96 in a row where I've said that. Anyway. Frequent watchers know that some of my musical idols, I actually have 3 that come to mind. Carole King, obviously. Donald Fagen, obviously, and perhaps not so obviously, because her things are just beautifully simple, but ridiculously hard to get a grip on when you're playing. Talking about the late, great Laura Nyro, who 25 years ago yesterday passed away at the age of 49 from I want to say ovarian cancer, same thing as her mother died from, same age as her mother died. Anyway, from Eli and the 13th Confession, her record from 1968. This song was a number 3 hit for the Fifth Dimension. She had a lot of hits for the Fifth Dimension. And the song in here, the word in the song, some people equate it with an old-fashioned conveyance, but it's not really. It's something that Laura Nyro, who we're talking about, made up. It's Hermeologism, neologism. Some people say it might be a contraction of "let's hurry." But when a producer asked her what the word was, she said, it's just a nice word. Can you surrey? Can you picnic? Can you surrey? Can you picnic? Sew it down to a stone so big, Nick. Sew it down to a stone so big, Nick. There'll be lots of time and wine. Red, yellow, honey, sassafras and moonshine. Red, yellow, honey, sassafras and moonshine. Start so whoa, whoa. Sew it down to a stone so big, Nick. Sew it down to a stone so big, Nick. Rain and sun coming again, and from the sky come the Lord and the lightning, and from the sky come the Lord and the lightning, lightning storm soul. Soul. Serene. Every train's of music, every music, every train's of trust, trains of golden dust. Surrey on sweet trains, Todd, Surrey on down. Can you Surrey? Can you Surrey? Stone soul, yeah. Surrey on soul. Surrey, let's hurry. Surrey. There's like 4 different chords in this. And damn, she's just so hard to master. But she was a master. One of my heroes. Speaking of masters, time for my chef d'oeuvre. Called Master of Disguise. Told me you were working late, so I put on my disguise and I followed you. You were out on a secret date. I wore my dark sunglasses and a phony nose, a beard and a mustache too. And I followed you down to the Cafe Rose, and I sat right next to you. Yeah, I sat right next to you. I'm a master of disguise, watching the things you do. Though I just can't believe it's true. You won't see it in my eyes. I'm a master of disguise. Waiting for as he posed there by the door. He was a blonde-haired beach guy, the kind you like, out of 1964. You had a 61 Lafitte and Chateaubriand. You even let him order for you. My imagination didn't want to go beyond this cheap little rendezvous, but there was nothing that I could do, 'cause I'm a master of disguise, watching the things you do. But I just can't believe they're true. You wanna see it in my eyes. I'm a master of disguise. Well, you didn't even know that I was there. You just sat there running your fingers through his curly hair. Told you that you were the only one. You told him that you dug him the most, and he said he'd like to take you home and have some fun, but he had to catch a plane for the coast. Well, I followed your boyfriend home that night, and I got the shock of your life. It seems your newfound Mr. Right has got 2 kids and a wife. He's leading a double life. He's a master of disguise. He's playing around with you. They just won't believe it's true. You won't see it in his eyes. He's a master of disguise. Master of Disguise. Look for that and my name on Spotify and all the other streaming music services where I've earned over the past decade a little over $3 in payments. So, yeah, that's good. Ed Sheeran has 1 billion views on YouTube, so he makes some money there. I don't. I put my stuff on YouTube, by the way. It's the vehicle that I use to populate BillSpence.com. So if your friends don't have the Facebook, tell them to go to BillSpence.com and let's see, it's 8:12 now. By 9 o'clock, tonight's episode will be there, and everybody can enjoy it. And I hope everyone who has joined the broadcast this evening has enjoyed it. And until next week, should be back next week. God willing, and the creek don't rise. Or episode 97. So, once again, thanks for joining me, and ciao, ciao. Wow. Steinert High School, class of 72. Checking in. In-laws, cousins, sisters, everybody. Well, thanks. I'm going to stop this now because, it's pointless at this point.